Hey guys, thank you for tuning in. Welcome to another episode of the EMPI Insider with your host, Corey Ryder.
Well, guys, we're back. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of the EMPI Insider. I am your host, Corey, with my dude today, DJ Eddie Express on the on the boards. And now we've upgraded it one more time, right? We got engineer Jesse now working all the cameras and all the nonsense and everything else that goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's looking good, man.
Yep, we're getting there. Huh? I'm sure. I was just thinking about it too, last week when we were just finishing up the week, and I go, man, what a progression we've had over the last 45 days of starting with an iPhone and with no mic, and then adding a mic and thought we were going somewhere, and now we just continue to add on and go forward and just rolling and to bring a better episode for everybody. Yep. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for watching the growth of this and kind of it's taking on its own form and shape and everything that we're doing. And it's awesome to see the feedback that we're getting on a regular basis. So kind of just vibing out about that. I was just thinking about it while we're kind of listening and getting ready for the show. And I'm like, man, it's getting there, it's kind of cool. And we're getting the growth and we're watching the audience go up every single week. So it's awesome. And we couldn't do this without you guys. For people to enjoy, so it's pretty cool to see.
Super cool.
Let's see.
Hold on
1 second. Cameron's trying to get in here. So,
what's with the blue bucket?
The blue bucket. We're gonna save the blue bucket. Okay.
I just noticed it right now as I glanced over. I'm like,
yeah.
Why is there a blue bucket?
The blue bucket is kind of that's kind of on a need to know basis right now. I don't think you really need to know it.
I'm out.
It's kind of a subliminal message for a few of my friends, so
all right,
or colleagues or whatnot. But man, lots to talk about on today's show for sure. We got some really, really breaking news that we gave a little glimpse of yesterday, so you guys are gonna have to wait for that till towards the end of the episode. So if you want to hear some amazing news, breaking news here at EMPI, you're gonna have to hang out just a little bit. We're gonna talk about the race recap of the Caliente 250 and how that race went. Good, bad, and indifferent. And we're got super excited to actually have the 11 brothers on today. So we're going to have Richard and Timmy from the 11 Brothers Motorsports on the show. We're going to talk Class 11, talk race car stuff, talk a little shit, I'm sure, and have some good times. So
I'm excited, man. I want to hear from everybody how you guys were and it's how the whole weekend went, man.
Yeah,
looking forward to it.
I'm still recovering from just a long, exhausting, hot weekend, but it's gonna be good, man. So, without further ado, man, you guys see a couple of things out on the front of the table. The new Moroso valve covers, those have been a hot topic, so we're gonna talk about those for a second. Those are fully going into production now. Should have some in a very few weeks, so I was pretty stoked about getting those. I know a lot of people saw them, kind of a little sneak glimpse of them at PRI and at SEMA. We made some revisions to that stuff and whatnot. So
someone said, talk about your finger.
Oh shit. That didn't take very long. Ouch. So we'll talk about that as well. Oh yeah. Great. I see who they came from too. Thanks a lot. God. Anyhow, just so, yeah, man, they already got me off my game. This is brutal. Rick, thanks for joining us. We'll go ahead and thank you. Appreciate that. Talk about the finger. I got something for you. Don't worry. But it's cool. And then I love the blue bucket, Rick. Appreciate it. So people are noticing those that were there. I mean, it's got a lot of signatures, a lot of autographs. I nicknamed it the bucket of shame. So it's cool. It's a memory and it's something that I'll keep with us and kind of rolling with the show and in my office in the future when we get settled in. But without further ado, man, I mean, I'm excited. I want to talk to these guys, and we talked about the Moroso valve cover. So, guys, stay tuned on that. There'll be a part number issued very, very soon. And then you see a little something on the counter too, and we'll talk about that later on. But, dude, let's bring them in. Let's just get them rolling, and then we're gonna go ahead and bring you guys in, Richard and Tim from 11 Brothers, and Let's see how the feedback is. We're good. Everybody can hear me good?
Yeah.
Rad. And then we're going to do one more solid one while we're in there. We actually have the whole gang in today. What's up, Cam?
What's up, boys?
What's happening?
So,
around.
I imagine you guys, I don't know if you made it to the shop yet or where we're at.
I just made it to my parents' house to come grab my kid. But yeah, doing a lot.
Good time. So, I mean, we got to talk a little bit about, the weekend, guys. I mean, you guys had a successful 11 Brothers. So many of you guys don't know, Cameron Frey, top fuel driver, was my co-pilot in the 11 rocket for EMPI, or 11 Turtle, we'll call it. And then 11 Brothers are the guys that actually built that car and rebuilt that car, I guess, because the car was built 20-something years ago. And then Cameron was, like I said, the co-pilot of that. And we just want to spend a few minutes and talk about the success. How do you guys feel about it? The overall weekend went for you, and tell them, talk about that.
I mean, to be honest with you, this is my first deal with with off road, and it was super rad. Like everybody at 11 Brothers Motorsports was super accommodating and welcomed me in along with Wilkie and all his crew, and then obviously Corey and I go back quite ways, and he helps me with the top fuel stuff. So, but I loved every second of it. It was rad. I mean, even with what happened, it was still rad. You get a lot of bonding time when you're hanging upside down with somebody. So,
news, I mean, it's like I uploaded some pictures and stuff like that we'll share later on the show. But you kind of already throwing it out of the bucket there. But yeah, we did end up on our lid. Had a little technical difficulty, no fault of anybody else or anything else. It just shit happens with racing, and it was a cool experience.
Yeah, it literally happened so fast. It was, oh shit, we're screwed, huh? Whoop, there we go. But the boys that fabbed the car, they did an amazing job and kept us all safe. And, I think hopefully that thing will live to play another day. So
yeah.
Well, that leads us kind of into the next section. I mean, Timmy and Rich, now that you guys are back and kind of settling in and probably a little bit recovering, Timmy wasn't able to go this trip. He did have his baby boy coming out, so that was a great early arrival present. But Rich had to definitely fill in some gaps there, and a team no sleep for about 48 hours, I think. So.
Yeah.
But I mean, you drove your ass off. So let's talk a little bit about kind of what you feel and how the weekend went and whatever, whatnot.
To be honest with you, I couldn't be any more happier. Besides my dad, Mr. 13 Seconds. But going into it, I mean, we showed up with 5 cars, and out of the 5, we got a first, a third, and a fourth. Whether we built it, touched it, had something to do with it. So I couldn't be any more pleased with that. Wilkie, he was on fire, man. I led all day, and then I seen the helicopter, and I seen him coming up the wash, and I threw it away, and I let him get around me. And so we came into the pits first and second. We got him shipped out that way, and then for us, my dad ended up getting a flat, and then a couple other issues, and we ended up losing second by 13 seconds. But it is what it is. So, I mean, for us, my dad, he hasn't been in a car in a while, so it was cool to do that. And then same deal with you. Like you were running top 5, which was kind of where I wanted you to be at, or what was the expectation that we put there, and you were on track to do that. So I'm stoked with that. We'll have to get Riley, get his motor program up to par. So, because he was running up there too. And then same with Radu.
Ragu.
Ragu. With the Romanian rocket. But yeah, I'm pumped, man. I feel like we showed up. We made a point, and I'm looking forward to the next one for sure.
Yeah, and along with the finishes, we've been working on our motor packages for these guys, and we've always built our own engines. But now we're able to, prove that they can go out there and run with the best, and push those as well.
I mean, that's kind of what I wanted us to kind of elaborate on, and we'll dig more into it and stuff like that, in the coming weeks. But that's one of the things that I really wanted to stress. I mean, there's all kinds of contingencies, all kinds of different motor builders out there. I mean, you guys know better than anybody else. I mean, I'm still getting my, wet behind the ears and whatnot in this whole off-road game, and to be able to see what you guys have put together, and to be able to be that competitive, man, and to be able to pull with them. The guy Riley, who's also part of this squad, had a motor failure, but it was not, you guys never built the motor, you guys never built any parts. It was literally like something we bought through Craigslist or something like that. Like Cam's probably gonna have to, burn the fire suit and replace the helmet.
Yeah, the guy I borrowed that suit from, because all my stuff is in the rig in Texas. I sent him the picture of us upside down and me in the suit, and he goes, "Dude, I'm telling you, that suit is bad luck." He's like, I think we need to burn it. I said, "Yes, please do."
Better if you would have given us a little freaking warning about it prior to it. I mean, good God.
Thanks for the heads up. If only
Yeah,
I knew I would have shipped one in.
Yeah, I've been upside down 6 times in it and on fire 3 times. So yeah, you guys are good. Don't worry. Like, sending Satan with us along for a ride.
Thing is cursed,
dude. I mean, no shit though. I mean, and again, I can't thank these guys enough. I mean, I put my life in their hands. I put Cameron's life in their hands, and I mean, we were at one of the fastest parts of the entire track. When, like I said, when a wheel decided to let go, and to lose control so quick and so fast, and the cage did its job. These boys, I trusted them with my life, and they did a damn good job. So,
yep.
Thank you for not letting me.
Don't let Corey trust. Don't trust Corey with directions.
Yeah.
Come on, man. That was an honest mistake. And I think the drive was actually better that way than the other way. So, I mean, some of you guys on social media, I did get razzed a little bit. We were busy doing a live feed with Wilkie and whatnot. And, man, I made a freaking wrong. I didn't even make a wrong turn. I just never made the turn. And I mean, it added about 35 minutes or so to the trip. But, man, we got a really beautiful scenic route leading up to the race.
Yeah, I got to see some deer, nice little sunset. It was way prettier on the way there than it was on the way home. So,
yeah. I know that feeling.
That's what happens when you go through 17 states to get there.
Yeah. You're only supposed to go through one.
Yeah, so we left California to get to Nevada. A nice little 5-hour ride is what was slated, but we went through California, we went through Arizona, and then through Utah, St. George, and then back into Nevada.
What?
So we got like
We got a special guest for you guys too, Papa.
Oh, geez. So now we got now I got to hear it from 3 of you. Wonderful, thanks. But it's really cool, guys. I mean, there's a lot of people chiming in on the comments. Right, it's probably one of the busiest comments I've had in a long time. But a lot of people are adding in to but to like how supportive they are of your program and the things you guys are doing, and it's just really, really neat to see. And it speaks volumes of kind of why we decided to select you guys to run with it and kind of build the car and to trust what you guys are going to do.
Oh, nice.
King Dennis. There's so many new people just chiming in, man. It's awesome to see. So Cam, I mean, I have to ask, and these guys, and a lot of people were asking here, and one of the things is like, what was the feeling like to normally be able to go 300 miles an hour, 330 miles an hour into about 18 to 20 miles an hour?
It's still a lot of fun. I don't care if you're going 300 or 18, upside down on fire, whatever it is. It's still a really good time with really good people, and that's what it's all about. I mean, even the stresses of the drag racing stuff that I do, I still enjoy the people, in the drag racing world, and then obviously it's the same camaraderie and everything over in the off-road world. So I really enjoyed that, and then honestly just getting to try to send her, like we just led put that thing in the top fuel world, but the off-road world is a little there's a little finesse involved, and getting through like the smaller sections and stuff. It's super technical, and you may be only going 5, 10 miles an hour, but I mean you're like locked in the zone, trying to figure out what's going on. So super cool, and I hope to be able to get to do it again. Hopefully I can get the opportunity to do it again one of these days. And never know, maybe if I hit the lotto, I'll be able to buy an 11 Brothers car and do it.
I think, guys, he liked the idea of having a co-pilot and the in his corner. He's like, oh, maybe we'll do a 16 car or something along those lines. So he can have like him and his wife could co-pilot with him and go out and bash around and not be stuck in the middle of nowhere. So, because I think he didn't get like sit on the side of a mountain for 4 hours.
Just be careful. You can sit upside down in a 1600 car too, man.
Gotta pull that tow rope out.
Yeah. So guys, a lot of people are asking me, who are 11 Brothers? What's 11 Brothers all about? Give them some insight, give them some history about it, and tell them. I mean, kind of tell them a story. I mean, everybody, they've heard us do it, but I'd rather have the chance to give everybody the audience for you to tell your story. That's the key thing.
11 Brothers started with my dad here and his brother in the early 90s. They started race. Well, we have a family that's raced off road for a lot of years, but they got into class 11 in the 90s, raced Glen Helen, some HDRA, score, all that good stuff. And once they got in it, they were hooked, and it stuck, And then through the generations, my dad had my two brothers and I, and we were bred into it. And we've always kind of built cars, always kind of been in the scene, left a couple years here and there, but it's stuck in our blood for sure, and we're not leaving anytime soon.
So, I mean, of the cars too, like, and is there like a favorite car you guys like? I mean, we know you guys like the 11s and stuff like that. And I think Richard's kind of leaning more towards the 9 car these days, but is there like a specific style you guys are really into, or?
We've done quite a bit, from 11, 9, 16, 5, 16, 12 Jeeps. And we always end up back at the 11, man. There's honestly, this weekend, I've never done Colleen before, and I probably had the most fun I've ever had racing this weekend in an 11 car at Colleen. It's just, there's nothing like it, man. It's fun. Everyone thinks they're rough. They're really not rough at all. But I mean, we always come back to it, and it's the most fun and competitive that you can get. Like the 9 car, it's cool, but it beats you up bad. But because it's so competitive, you're not really paying attention to it. But I mean, I don't know. To me, the 11s, I'll always have 11. Even if I had a trophy truck, I'd still have 11. Like it's just, that's where it's at.
That's kind of what leads me into some of the other points that are on here is like, there's so many guys just the stuff that I'm learning and picking up from you guys, but I think it seemed like everybody's getting a kick in the pants. I mean, I know Cam was surprised, like, dude, this shit is crazy that we're hitting some of these things at the speed we are. And it sometimes it'll stick you, but I mean, for the most part, it's not bad. I mean, and I'm bigger than the average bear in a lot of cases. And this thing, soaked it up just fine. And, you're a little tender, but it's still freaking, it just doesn't compute in the brain when you're rolling with it.
Yeah.
And then you guys used to do some other bigger stuff too, because you had like the Jeeps and some other stuff that you guys were kind of rolling with back in the day too.
Yeah, 516s, the 16, the 12 car. We've been all over the map with it.
Yeah. And every year is kind of different too. With off-road racing, some years we'll have a ton of 11 cars. Some years there'll be a ton of 9 cars. Same with the 516 and so on. So sometimes we start picking and choosing that way and what we want to race, for the competition.
Like whatever, we'll usually go wherever the cars are, wherever the money's at. Like we're pretty competitive with it. So, like if there's only a couple 11 cars at the race and there's more 9s, then we'll park the 11 and race the 9. If there's more 516s, then we'll pull the 516 out. Like, that's how we usually try to do it.
Well, I mean, that's, I think you guys showed it. I mean, it's just one of the things that's been interesting to kind of watch is just the overall, how you guys kind of pull together, and each one of you kind of has a special talent about some of the stuff, and where they build, like somebody's a little bit more in depth with the motors and somebody's more in depth with the fabrication. And then there's kind of the final assembly aspect of it. Is there like something that each one of you guys, from from just kind of what I'm seeing, there's more of like, Timmy seems to be doing a lot of the fab stuff, and Richard does the motors, and then Pops is kind of like finishing touch and GM kind of general maintenance on the whole deal. Is that kind of how it's all rolling out?
Yeah. I mean, we all can pretty much do all of it, but yeah, we try to. You have to split it up. If we tried to concentrate all of us on the same thing, I don't think we'd ever get it done, So we gotta be able to. The motor shop is in town, the fab shop's out at the Salton Sea, so people have to be really versatile, So we just, whatever one person's been doing, that's what they stick with. We know it's going to get done. We're not stressing on it, and when it comes race day, it's going to be right, So, but yeah, it's good. We can, like you were saying earlier, with Timmy having his newborn and having to stay home, not that there was some shoes to fill, because we all work together as a team. And I mean, I was kind of stressing on him not going, but me and my dad were able to pull through, and the results were there. So I'm pumped on that.
Yeah, no, that's what's really cool to see, is that the whole orchestration of everything coming together. I mean, it's not an easy task. I mean, we must have had about 15 people that were with us as support crew for pit stops and just cooking and cleaning and some gas station. I mean, just there's so much stuff that goes into, especially when you have as many cars as we did out there to be competitive. So it's difficult. Is there? I mean, I'm trying to get you guys to an opportunity to share kind of some of the things that you guys like to do, some of the specialties that you guys are really want to push or pursue. Is there a couple items that you really want to share with the audience about some of the stuff that they should come to you for either off-road things or sand cars or wherever else? I mean, you kind of, when we first met, I think one of the first times we were out there, some random dude shows up from Playa or Terra del Sol and said, "Hey, I need you to weld my Jeep axle, at the fab shop." So is there something you really want to get into and focus on, or that you guys specialize in?
Well, I mean, we got a couple builds going on at the shop right now. Obviously, I mean, I'm focusing more on the motor side of it. I mean, Timmy, he's got some cool builds coming up. I don't really know if we're allowed to share on it all yet, but we're getting ready to build a full body 516 with a Tesla drive unit in it.
That's insane.
So between the 11 cars, we got a 5 open car pre-runner that me and my dad are working on together. Obviously the low comp packages we're on back order with that stuff. And then, like I say, the venturing into the Tesla part of it is it's gonna be new to us, but we're just kind of diving. We have the shop before, and we went through obviously trial and tribulations with life, and we're all getting back on the same page. We're looking at getting a building that's neutral to both of the shops that we have now, so it's a little closer for everybody. And but yeah, we can basically do anything, dude. Whether we're prepping CVs, building motors, tune-ups on your sand car, desert car, which is kind of I would like to have the shop open. My dad can run the counter, and then have me and Timmy in the back doing that stuff. And just jumping back into it, head first, and just see where it goes.
That's cool. Yeah, it's been really neat to see you guys just grow and evolve over the last handful of months, and the amount of EMPI business. Obviously, it's great to see you guys growing and being able to produce the carburetors, and now the low comp motor packages that you've got pretty well on lock with all off the shelf components, which has been tried and true and tested this weekend and passed inspection. So it's just another good a good avenue.
I don't even, dude. They pulled out so much stuff at Tech. I my whole life I haven't seen all the gizmos and gadgets.
Snore was digging deep.
Yeah,
they were digging deep to try to catch something.
Well, I mean, he did light the world on fire there for a minute. So, but respectively, if you look at the times between what you guys ran and what he was running, it was right there. So, but it's like when they checked it all and everything kind of cleared the pathway, and it's like that's just proof. And it's again, there's a reason why we did this program together, with you guys and with EMPI, so that it can be bringing to the forefront of everything. So it's really cool to see that, and then for everybody to see, like, look, guys, this is off the shelf stuff that you can go out and buy and build, with some special know-how and to make good power. And then you guys did it and improved it. So it's really cool to see that. But yeah, the gadgets and the gantry whoppers and the flux capacitors and neutron meters and everything else that was there was freaking insane to see. I mean, to say the very least.
Yeah, and so it's good. And I don't know, man. As soon as you win, you're a cheater. It's kind of the rule of thumb, I'm sure it is in every single sport, but it was cool to come out on top and for them to get that stamp of approval, because if you want to win, you got to push that fine line, man. And I'm not saying there ain't gray areas or stuff here or there, but that's that competitive edge. That's why we do this, and
yeah, I mean, it's interpretation, right? And how you read something and how I read something and how somebody else may read something. It can all three be different, but at the same time, you're not, doing anything that's out of the norm or whatever else, but it's just learning and trial and error. I mean, you guys have beat up enough shit, blown up enough parts, hurt enough to try to, and that's part of racing in any aspect, right? But it's just to learn from the mistakes and build from there, and then build a really good competitive package, in which you guys have done. So, I mean, again, props to you guys on putting, 2 cars on the podium, and the top, essentially top 3 of the 4 are deep EMPI product cars. So openly discussed. I mean, there's some taboo side of things that people don't want to talk about, but we'll save that for a later show.
Yeah. And that's like it other than Wilkie, I mean, being able to drive he's a driver, man. I didn't expect him to be as good as he is behind the wheel of that car, but people are like, why is he doing so good? How is he doing so good? And like I said the other day, that he listens, man. Like, I cannot, honest to God, there ain't one thing on that car that me or them that we have told him to do that he has questioned us, went against us, used someone else's idea. Like, he listened. So he listened. He did everything the way we told him to do it. And he, just by him doing that, he's already ahead of the competition. Like, we try to help out people every day, and, oh, well, what about this? Well, what about this? Someone said this, and it's like, well, try it. You know what I mean? Try it. If you think that's the way to do it, then do it, and that's one thing I can say. He listened. The car's top notch, and with him being able to wheel it, it's he's gonna be untouchable, man. I don't really think there's very many people out there that can drive 11 car faster than I am, or I can, and he was keeping up with me, outrunning me. So it's gonna be interesting this year.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to watch him too. I mean, I think it's good for the sport. It's good for the hobby, because he's inviting more people too. It's like, yo, you think you're good or you want to try, dude? Build one. Come out and bash with us. Get more people into it. And then the ones that necessarily think they already are faster, they're like, well, then come on and tangle. I mean, it's an open invitation. I mean, he's humble enough to take an ass whipping should somebody give him one. But my God, dude, I watched that guy fly by me while I was sitting on the side of the mountain, and I got some good video of that thing, and he's wheeling it. And I don't know if it's all the years in the sand messing around or what, but he's got a handle of the car. The car worked, and it worked from what you guys had instilled, and he created a badass monster that was cool to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing with us. We're not scared. We're not shy. We'll tell anybody on the internet what we do, how we do it, and what our secrets are. You know, there ain't any car there that we built different than what we would have built.
Speak of the devil himself.
Trying to get some work in today, man. Fuck.
Yeah, it's a Tuesday, my brother, but thanks for jumping in on the show, man. We were just talking about how much of a madman you are behind the wheel, and you know, you getting it done. It was dope, and all the boys and myself are super proud of you, and the Team EMPI, you know, racing team was stoked to have it. But you drove the wheels off this thing this weekend.
No, you drove the wheels off that thing.
Hey, at least one of them. We know one of them.
That is also. We'll get to that shortly.
Yeah.
That 13-second wheel you lost.
Yeah, man. But give us your input, man. Will, I mean, you know, you had a hell of a showing. It was a great redemption outing from the mint and whatnot. But, you know, what are your thoughts? How do you feel about everything?
I mean, obviously, you learn a lot your first race, and
yeah.
Luckily, you know, I had good guidance of the 11 brothers, and so we made some adjustments. I changed the setup somewhat, and just kind of was able to use kind of my background in motorsports to make the car better and faster, and the reliability was there. It was just those adjustments that need to be done to fit my driving style and how hard I wanted to charge the car. So, I mean, going into this, after testing, we all put some miles on the car. The car felt solid. Everything was good. That new EMPI carburetor, the HPMX, I felt was better than the Weber. Made some tire adjustments, some pressure adjustments, some shock adjustments, and then had a competitive package. And I mean, it showed. We were all running super hard right there together. And I think, like they said, you know, they're willing to share any secrets, and they build cars identical to what they race on. So I have a similar package, and it shows that it's a winning package.
And you know, some people are asking and messaging like they only saw a little bit of the stuff, and we're going to do a little slideshow towards the end of the end of the show and whatnot. But man, I mean, was there any moments, or did either one of you guys? Because I mean, you guys were battling for a minute and really focused on kind of what you guys were working on and doing. Was there any time that you kind of just had that? You felt it kind of you just knew you kind of clicked with it, I guess is the best way to word it.
I could see dust, and I knew that as we were picking people off, I knew that Richard was going to be one of the front runners. So I was just trying to keep a dust trail, whether it was him or someone else close by and not too far ahead, and drive safe still, and not push it. And there was one corner where it was kind of marked a little too early in the call out, and it could have been confusing because I almost made the same mistake, and I saw Richard kind of coming out of this left that was called out a little bit too early, and he can vouch for that because I almost did it even on the second lap. So it wasn't a mistake that was easily made. If he wasn't right there kind of coming back on course, I probably would have made that mistake, and I'm sure he lost at least, you know, close to 45 seconds to a minute, and that allowed me to catch him. And then I thought he was going to take a while to get back rolling and with the momentum, so I was kind of driving somewhat conservatively. And then all of a sudden he's right on my ass. I'm like, damn, this dude is charging. Like, all right, instead of banging, you know, 5,000 RPMs every shift, I'm gonna have to bang like 6,500 and hear those valves start. And then it was pretty epic. You could see the shadows of the helicopter. I could see him right back there. I mean, he got close to where he could almost nerf me once or twice and give me a love tap. But that's when I started really trying to turn it on, because I know the dust is no joke, and seeing that heli buzz over us, I was like, I gotta just stay in it and let's go. This is what it's all about. Like, I mean, had he came on the inside, I'm not gonna pinch him off and put us both in danger, but we were battling. That was fucking epic, dude. What do you think, Rich?
Yeah, that was, like I said, that was probably the most fun I've had in a long time. And yeah, it was funny too, because I was heading up the hill, I seen you coming up the wash, and then that's when I threw it away too. I mean, I don't really think I threw it away, but I made that wrong turn, and then once you got around me, I knew if I went into the pit with you, I was more concerned really. I mean, obviously we want to win, but that 1-2 man was really what I was working for. And I don't know, like a part of me, I feel like if I would have stayed in the car, I don't know if we would have finished because we would have pushed each other too hard. I don't know, but it was definitely a blast, man, and I can't wait to see that footage. So
Yeah, we saw some of the helicopter footage came through last night, and we're putting together a little montage so our listeners can check it out. You guys will share it, I'm sure. But there's an epic kind of dogfight through the pines on this fire dirt road, man. It's just bitching to see. And for a lot of people that don't realize, these cars scoot, man. I mean, they're faster than they think. They're faster than they should be, and a lot of times I think is the key. But man, I
need more power.
Yeah, I mean, we always want to. That's the whole purpose of chasing more power, right? So we don't push it as hard. And then you just kind of raise the level. But I mean, it was just awesome to see, and it was really cool that everybody got to see, and everybody kind of watched the build progress, right? I mean, they watched the build going into the mint. They saw you guys being affiliated with it. You guys all teamed up to work on it. We got you the right parts, the right product. The car finished then. You go out and service it, go out and beat the living hell out of it. I mean, there's going to be some pictures we're going to share later on that just shows you guys just stuffing it, hopping around, banging around with it and whatnot. But then it still survived. There was no Kato issues there, and you just kept rolling. I mean, even with the flat tire, you guys came back through and were rolling. It's just bitching. I mean, as a fan of just sport and the class in general, just good racing, pretty hard to beat the 11 deal right now.
Yeah.
I think it's going to keep growing, the more that we just keep racing and putting this in the limelight and having fun with it on the budget that we're doing it, compared to many other classes. That's where I think it's more relatable to people that want to get into the racing. And I mean, you can build something for, look at, what was his name? Radu. He's probably got like what, $4,000 at max into that car, $5,000, and he was out there and he finished strong. He finished in the top 5, and then you can go full wild and full narkill. But I mean, again, it's there's a couple times where I almost drove over my head and put myself out of the race. Dennis did the same thing to where it's capable of doing very easily if you do get to that point where you're always pushing the limit. So it's not like something, like maybe a 4-wheel drive truck that has just a crazy advantage. Like these cars are still all pretty comparable, Yeah.
What do you feel? And it was really cool, Blake, is watching what you're doing for the sport too. Is kind of just an outsider looking in on some of the stuff. I mean, I don't want to say you're challenging people, but you're enticing them. You're inviting them out. So, look, dude, come out and bash with us. Go have some fun. Build the thing. I mean, and Lucas Hand kind of chimed in on here and said, man, I can't wait for Rage. And I think pretty much anybody what's active in the 11 deal right now can't wait for Rage. But, how many cars do you think are going to be out there? What do you think is going to be next? I mean, we hear guys that are big trophy truck teams building stuff. And, who's going to come out that's going to kind of wow people with an 11 car? Any idea? Any guess?
I mean, if there's 30 dudes out there for Rage last year, if there's 35, that's going to probably be, hands down, be the largest class there is. And especially if there's trophy truck guys racing it, they're going to bring their audience and their eyes to it. And, hopefully EMPI, 11 Brothers, and myself, we can go out there and put a beating on some of the top tier guys and be like, what's up? Maybe we should get in a trophy truck now and see what's up,
Yeah.
Trophy sedan to trophy truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be good for the sport and bring it back down to the basic levels, the fun levels, the speeds that aren't damn near on the edge of death and just fun. Like it's me and Kevin, I think our abs hurt more from laughing than riding in the car.
Yeah, I know we had Cameron and I had a little songs we were singing and just kind of game planning and just talking crap the whole time and laughing because just every time we hit something that we're like giggle like 12-year-old girls, like how does this even take this eating?
Right?
Hey, look at Radu.
Yeah.
You look at Radu's car, you know, and the first thing you look at it, and you're like, my eyes are burning. What's going on here? But underneath that body, that thing's got the same cage, same EMPI suspension, same CVs, same everything the rest of us are running, you know. And that's with a bone stock motor and a bone stock transmission. Underneath all that Bondo paint and whatever drawings he's got on it. You know, and that dude's got the least of anybody, and he's having the most fun. So, you know, we can put $1 billion or no dollars and still have fun.
And that's really what it's about. I really enjoyed it myself, and I'm really looking forward to doing some more of that stuff again, because this really is an every man's class. And I mean, during Blake's build and talking about it, it's like a class you can build in the garage with your kid, with your buddy, with your family, whatever it may be, and you can just do it and go out and have a fun and go bash around.
Yeah.
Live streaming.
There we go. There's crazy man.
There's I don't know. Oh shoot. Let me see if I can turn this thing around. Uh-oh. Am I still there?
Yeah, you got you. We're here.
Cam mic. Camera. Front camera. Front camera.
Or you could just turn the phone.
Oh. Yeah,
Like,
there she is right now. She's still sitting here. We did a little shoot yesterday for both people, and yeah, so she's still there, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to see. You know, the thing for us, obviously, you know, we have an interest in doing this with you guys, right? The more we can put our product out there, the more we can do with it. We're out there beating the living hell out of it, you know, and pushing it to its limits in some cases. You know, but you guys are out there, and we haven't had a failure of a product yet. No failure of the driveline stuff or the brakes, the steering, the suspension, any of the quality of the items that are there. You guys are beating the shit out of it, and obviously it's podium worthy.
Yeah. I mean, people have they've kind of given us a hard time because we've ran EMPI for years and years and years. And the thing is we're prepping the stuff too, you know, so we know what lasts 2 races, we know what lasts 4 races, we know what you can run a season with. And then on top of that, just you guys being as open-minded and willing to listen on your guys' comeback tour right now. We're still able to help, you know what I mean, and help put EMPI back on the map and get rid of that the stigma, if you will, that a lot of people try to put on it, you know. And I look forward to seeing what's to come from this year. It's only going to get better, man. I'm stoked on what we're doing already in the beginning, and people better get ready because we're coming.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like Wilkie's calling somebody out every week after go out and testing or gets pumped up, whether it be pre-running for the weekend or testing the car. He's calling somebody out. So, you know what, man? You really
No, I ain't calling nobody out. I'm just telling everybody to come play.
I
don't got enough time. I don't got enough time in the sport yet. Going out. And then if I do start calling people out when we win, then we get our
Cricket wireless.
Only they're not playing by the rules. If we got to play by the rules, they should play by the rules. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to get into it, but I kind of wanted to get into it because, you know, I know that there was I don't know, conspiracy, or it was just because all eyes have been on this build lately. But, you know, how did you feel when you had to go through the rigors work on the whole testing and the pump and everything else?
Hey, we weren't scared. We know what the fuck we built. I mean, the 11 brothers. they bullshit. They did everything right. So I know my transmission at the Mint, when they checked that, was everything was
back up.
Stop moving.
There
we go.
It's not me, man.
Yeah. See, yeah, to 100% it is. I can see the single strength. It's all right though. We still like
Right
it.
now?
Yeah, now you're good. Don't move.
Oh. Oh. My
love
bad. I don't know what's going on, dude.
it's just one of those things, man. But I mean, it's it's really good to see because you kind of hit the nail on the head. Both you guys did. I mean, you know what you were building going into it. You know, you guys were completely legal going into it. You know, you got a big personality that's actually having some success, so that does create a bit of an issue. And then at the same point that Richard was making, it's like, look, man, the same guys that have the stigma and that like to talk shit and everything else is the same guys that we see on Instagram showing off their ride with the EMPI boxes in the background that we're just talking shit prior to. So it's the same thing. We see it, but it's cool that that you guys are there, that we're doing it together. You know, that you're out there, you're beating the stuff, you're proving the stuff, and we're not paying you for it. It's not like we're gonna paid advertisement out of this deal. We're supporting the program. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's about time we get paid, though, brother. we're winning races.
Knew that was coming.
I mean,
Yeah.
otherwise that sticker, that placement right there has a lot of value, and someone else might kick down. So you might get downsized, bro.
Tough crowd. First, I tried to cut my finger off for you guys and draw a spectacle, and now I'm still getting called out. I'm sure our CEO watching in is just absolutely loving this as well. Thanks, Peter. This is the stuff I got to put up with.
What's up, Peter? I'm sending you an invoice, dog. I'm just joking with you guys. I mean, you guys have helped build this car, so I mean, and you guys help prep it and stuff. So I mean, that's huge. But shoot, dude, we're just all broke ass white boys trying to go racing.
It's all good, man. I mean, and we're doing good things, and it's Lucas Hand's kind of already saying side bets for Ray. So but I'm sure he'll make an excuse that he can't come out and play because he's got to work or some kind of shenanigans. But
funny thing about Lucas's car, I built that car 20 years ago for Art Saavedra.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's telling stories and he's building everything.
Yeah.
So what's next, guys? When's the next race? I think Richard, you're gonna run the 9 car this weekend, and then what's the next deal for Wilkie? When's the next race? What's the plans? We're gonna do good.
Yeah, I think there's almost 20 entered right now for the Moore race in the 9. So I'm trying to pull that off. And then I think are we all going to the 9 race? Or are we doing I don't know. Are we chasing points now or what's going on?
I think Wilkie's got to get the championship. So,
I mean, you guys got a top 3 finish. I mean, if we finish, I feel like that first race, we got a lot of momentum. So preparing to do Battle at Prim and Rage. So I mean,
we're going to do both of those no matter what.
Yeah.
Might as well throw the night race in there and then see where we stack up when it's all said and done. I mean, if we finish, I feel like all 4 races in top 5, you're definitely going to be top 3 in the championship points run for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, we're gonna have to bring my dad another car or me another car or something because these races they're too short for driver changes and stuff like that.
He's got to save the car when the next guy gets in.
Yes. I mean, even the stop to get somebody in and out that quick is still minutes. I mean, at the end of the day, but it's especially as tight as the racing is. I mean, you guys, you caught 13 seconds, right? I'm going to keep reminding 13 seconds is all for a 1-2 finish.
Hey, bro, you shouldn't have sliced your finger off, man.
And you put me to work with the weed whacker too. So hey, at least we're making progress.
I just ran all those bushes over, dude.
Next time you got to have that toe strap out, though. Well, hopefully there ain't a next time.
Yeah,
have the toe strap out.
Oh, so well, guys. I mean, it's been cool to just sit here and talk racing and everything else. Before we kind of close out the show for the day, what is there anything else you're gonna add, Wilk? And then I'll let the 11 boys close out.
Build the car and come have some fun. Deal with your brother, mother, sister, son, friends, and come have some good old-fashioned fun. It's the cheapest form of racing, and yeah, I mean, if we can do it, I think you guys can do it. And if you guys need any help, hit up the 11 Brothers. You guys need a motor, you guys need a transmission, you guys need EMPI parts, you guys need a cage, you guys need some of the harder parts to do. Hit them up. They'll dial you in like they have people for 3 generations.
Yeah.
I mean, well said, buddy. What about you guys? 11 brothers, Richard, Timmy, Dennis. Anything else you guys want to add before we close you guys out?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, if anybody wants to get in class 11, just like Wilkie said, it can be affordable. You don't need to spend a fortune, and get a hold of us, and we'll do what we can for you to help you out.
Thank you for the support.
Yeah, we got some plaques there. That's a 1, 2, 1, 3 plaque. So
Right.
I think I'm gonna hold that hostage, that number 1 plaque for Wilkie.
Dude, bring it, baby. I'll throw 100 on a side bet right now.
No,
Hey, be careful. They're already wrapped on the first one.
My track record's not so hot, but man, guys, what an awesome time we had. Building some lifelong memories, some stories that we'll be able to tell around the campfire for years to come.
Tell us about your bucket.
Oh, you son of
I hope you saved that tequila.
We'll cut out for the eyebrows.
So yeah, I wore the hat this week for the eyebrows, thanks to Tom from Cold Hard Art. But the bucket is I nicknamed it the bucket of shame, and we had every racer in the Naughty Pine restaurant sign it that saw me upside down on the side of the hill, and
that many people saw you upside down?
Well, dude, I went to the front part of the field, and then I got, I was first lap, so everybody got a good look on the second lap going by.
Oh man!
So yeah, that's my bucket of shame.
It stayed there till after the second moto.
Yeah, it stayed there the entire race. So the second heat that went through with all the trophy trucks and everything else, the car sat upside down on the side of the hill until later that night around 8 o'clock at night. And we were up on our lid at 9 in the morning or 9:05 in the morning. So, yeah. So that's my bucket of shame. And you guys did ask about the finger. Trying to get the car. This is the motorsports side, right? Trying to get the car back on all 4 wheels and rolling. I decided to literally fillet my finger for 24 stitches to try to get the car back down. And I metal that was hanging out. So filleted me wide open. I got some pictures of that to show, post up on social media, but that's the racer's drive and desire, man, is to get back on the car. I mean, we were like, hey, if we can get it back to camp and it feels okay, let's try to at least finish this damn thing. And that's what our plan was, but it just got cut a little short.
Yeah.
Literally got cut
short. Yeah. But hell of a good time, guys. I wouldn't change it for the world. And we built some memories and some laughs that I can't wait to cherish and for years to come. And I'm looking forward to the next one with y'all.
Yes, it is.
Thank everybody that helped us, and thank EMPI, Wilkie, everybody.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Appreciate it.
Casey Night Race, we're coming hard. Any of those 11, buddy, anyone with 11 car, show up and show out.
That's going down.
Tight.
Fellas. Well, dude, I mean, there you have it. The cat's out of the bag and whatever else. Yeah, we put it on the lid. We had a good damn time doing it. And we'll be back. I mean, the car will be ready in 3 weeks or so. And we're going to go out and smash around with these cats and have some fun doing it.
Very cool. Very cool.
And it looked like Jack Sacchetti just said, that's it. I'm building the car.
Oh,
there we go.
Oh, dang.
There we go. Battle of the heavyweights right now, Jack. Let's do this. I know I saw the project car that's a 70 something on the side of the house, ready to go.
Oh, dang.
Couple of big boys driving now. This will be fun. I mean, that's what it's all about.
That's super cool. I hope he does.
I kind of want him to also, just because it'll be fun.
Great, yeah.
I think it'll be a lot of fun. With the whole thing to really make it work, right? And I do want to give this kind of a moment to shout out some people and to kind of take. I mean, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes that to make. You got to remember, we had 5 cars in our compound, in our stable at the race.
Technically under the EMPI umbrella.
Under the EMPI umbrella, yes. Right? Under the EMPI umbrella, 11 Brothers umbrella. But we had 5 cars there. You figure between Wilkie's, myself, the 11 Brothers car, Riley's, and Ragu's, those cars that were all pitted together. We stayed together. We help each other out. I mean, that's an orchestration of just spare tires, fuel, spare parts scattered around the field, 2 different pits, there's a driver change, there's a passenger change in both those cars. I mean, you got to feed them, water them, then the rest of the crew. I mean, it's a hell of an undertaking and it's a hell of an operation to do.
Right.
And you know what? It's an absolute blast because at the end of the day, all said and done. And I kind of called it the calm before the storm because we were sitting the night before. We were all sitting around kind of just chilling at the camp, talking stories, telling lies, the whole deal, and having an absolute blast. And that's one of the things that I posted on Facebook and said, man, that's building a bond for a lifetime because those moments you can never get back. And for Richard to have his son there, and have his dad there. So you got 3 generations of the Slettons right there, hanging out. And then Dennis's friends that have been lifelong friends for, 20, 30 years, guys that come out there just to feed and take care of it and cook, and then to help change a tire if needed, to sit on the backside of a far pit sea, in the heat of the day all day long until they could come out and never once bitch and get no sleep. You're getting up early. We had a 6 a.m. roll call in the lanes. So we were up at 5 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, prepping, getting the car warmed up, getting your, nervous out, getting your suit on. I mean, there's a lot that goes on getting this stuff to go, and a lot of people, those are what's hard, loading the trailer, unloading the trailer. Hell, you guys had to help me here at the end of the day, but it's just, there's so much goes on. And so all the guys involved, Josh Felix and all the group, all you guys that were involved, I personally thank you. I know EMPI thanks you. I'm sure the 11 brothers all thank you as well, because we can't do it without you guys. You need that support team to be successful and to help when you have to help. And it was cool to see. Yeah, I mean, Michelle, we got another comment coming in right now. You couldn't do it with a better group of people. And that's literally 100% the truth, man. These guys are down to earth. There's no egos. I mean, you need something, they laying in the freaking sticker bushes to help get the car ready. And it's cool, man. It's really, really cool to see. And the brotherhood that comes along with it, because, when I got back and from the hospital and whatnot, there was the guys ready to greet me there and make sure that I was good to go. And don't worry about the car. We'll take care of it. We'll pick it up. We'll get you going. So
right on,
thanks to all of them. Can't wait for the next one. I know that. And that's going to be a blast. So
that's local, right?
Yeah, well, Glenn. So this weekend, actually, we're going back out. I'm not racing. I'm just going out to support and lend a hand, not two, but lend a hand.
Right.
And Richard's going to race the 9 car and the more race, and there's like 20 cars registered for that. So I'd love to see the EMPI banner flag again on the top podium finish, and love to see some of that going, because that 9 car is ready, and that car is ready to rock. So nice. I'm super stoked on that.
Very cool.
Not too far behind that, we'll have a Glen Helen race, and then there's a night race coming up, and then the 2 biggies we're looking for is Battle at Primm, because you get the short course, a little bit of short course stuff right there at State Line, Buffalo Bills, so your family and friends can see you jumping and doing corners, and then you go out to the Desert Run. So, and that's a multi-lap event, which should be pretty bitching to do. And that was supposed to be my first race.
I remember you talking about that one.
With the COVID crap, that all kind of got pushed aside. So, it's going to be cool, man. I'm super stoked about a lot of this stuff. And I'm glad that we as EMPI really picked I feel we picked the right guys to work with, and then to continue this journey on, and to bring EMPI back to the limelight and not so taboo.
It's cool that it's racing again, like it's racing.
Yeah. And it's, we don't know when drag racing is really going to come back around. It worked out perfect timing, the off-road stuff and knowing that kind of everybody spread out and everything was good. So it should be a hell of a lot easier to get done. So, but it was really cool. Let's see, for those of you guys, want to get a hold of the 11 brothers, you can do that by calling 760-895-8220. They'll help you out with your motor combos. They'll help you out with any EMPI product. They have some stuff in stock, some stuff they can get quickly, and they're servicing the whole Coachella Valley. And obviously they'll ship you stuff around. I mean, I know they're doing a lot of carburetors. They're doing a lot of the HPMXs and stuff like that, and race prepping them and getting them out the door. So 760-895-8220. We'll get you linked up with Timmy and Richard and get you guys going and picked and whatnot. But, and then I do want to give a very special shout out to my road dog. He's been with me across the country, and he's been with me, at my first race in off road. And Ice, you know who you are, man. Eduardo, you've been a big help. You're helping all the guys out there. You cook dinner for everybody. You were on the grill. You were on the camera. You were everywhere, and you didn't say a negative word, and you were a blast, man. So a special thank you from me to you. It means a lot because we drove across country together, my friend, and we're going to do it again soon. So thank you. Lastly, I know some people are curious, and I kind of made you wait for, some of the news, but you guys may or may not have heard yesterday. We kind of released a little quick glimpse, but I'm very proud and excited to announce that Clyde Berg has joined the EMPI family in the cylinder head department alongside Anthony Chica, who's leading the charge and the revamp and rejuvenation of our entire cylinder head program. So, man, if you guys get a chance, give Clyde a nice message, shoot him a text. And he's one of the many people that have now grown and joined the EMPI family, like Jack Sacchetti kind of first coming out doing it. Anthony Chica was kind of first, and then Jack Sacchetti, and then Rick Sadler, and now Clyde Berg. And we're going to just continue to grow on and go forward with it. It's going to be amazing, and super excited to have Clyde on board. And the stuff that we have slated for the future is just going to be phenomenal. And just stay tuned because we got some pretty badass stuff coming. You guys saw the little EMPI 124 scale cars. Those are readily available and ready for purchase. You can buy them. There's only a limited number here. Once they're gone, they're gone. Part number 2091. I think they're you can order them. I don't remember exactly what the price is off the top of my head, but they are available through your dealer and so forth. So definitely check those out. Man, I know I'm forgetting people, from this weekend, but again, thanks to everybody that was there. Pistol Pete, Jimbo handling the fuel, Ricky, all those guys, and it was just cool. So I'm sure I forgot somebody. Nothing intentional. Just thank you. Thank you for everybody that was involved in it. Hell of a showing. None of the boys could have did it without you guys, and it's just been an awesome ride. So with that being said, stay tuned next week. We got some more cool stuff coming. Can't release it this week. Has to be till next, but you will definitely not want to miss next week's show. From me to you, Corey, your EMPI Insider. We'll see you next week. Eddie the Engineer, take us out.
Thank you.